Welcome to Muskie Road Rules Podcast and Patreon. Guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and thanks for becoming a member of the Patreon. Guys, this month we're going to be giving away, for the members of the Patreon, we're giving away one of Hans the Carver's Carver crankbaits. Guys, we got some of those. The big guy from out in Buffalo made some up for me, and I'm going to be able to give them away to you if you become a member of the Patreon page. Guys, it's really easy. All you got to do is go to patreon.com, search Muskie, and don't go to OnlyFans. That's what people think. I think that's the problem. No one wants to see me doing OnlyFans. It would look like Rosie O'Donnell doing push-ups or something. Don't go to OnlyFans. I'm on Patreon, and just click subscribe or become a member. You got to become a member. It's really easy, $8 a month, and you're going to be in for the drawing for one of Hans's Carver crankbaits. We've given away a 10-inch supernatural headlock already. We've done a double flap tail from Bomb Squad. So now we got one of Hans the Carver's crankbaits. You can check his stuff out at Hans the Carver on Facebook, and also his webpage is Buffalo Outfitters as well. They're in Buffalo Harbor Outfitters. They're in New York. But guys, we got some new people on the podcast today. Let me bring them on here. We've got some guys. We've got Austin Sandstrom and Brendon. Is it Rurak?
You said it just as good as what I can do. That's for sure.
All right. Well, guys, let's first time on the podcast, and I am excited about this. Brendon, I met you there at the Minnesota show, actually last couple years. And you are the owner and the creator of the Big Action Baits. Austin, you do a guide service there in Northwest Ontario on the Winnipeg River system. We talked a little about that. I want to get into that with you. But right now, Austin, you're in where?
Los Angeles. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've always said Los Angeles and Northwest Ontario. That's pretty close.
Yeah, exactly, right.
It's the same thing. I mean, people look the same. The natives are definitely, well, they're both tan.
You're right. Everyone's nice. Everyone's nice.
Everyone's nice.
There's muskies all over the place.
Just like in Northwest Ontario, a lot of fake breast. It is, I would say though, in Los Angeles versus Kenora, Tinder is probably a lot different, though.
Yeah. Well, so I wouldn't know. I have a girlfriend, but
okay.
I would assume, yeah. Probably.
Yeah. Well, just don't get on Angle Tinder. Let me tell you, that's a dandy. That's a dandy. You get, oh boy, you don't want to go on Angle Tinder. That's a good one. I bet Kenora Tinder is just wonderful. That would be all right. I got something.
I have some guide friends I can ask.
Ask him about Kenora Tinder.
Yeah.
Or Vermilion Bay Tinder. I bet that's a good one.
Yeah,
I bet that.
Lookout. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Sioux Lookout Tinder. Definitely look out.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't get lonely out there. That's for sure.
Oh no. It's they've got to allow animals on that thing. What is so yeah? You're in Los Angeles. Why the hell are you in Los Angeles?
Yeah, I guess like alter ego. So I, guide during the summers, but I went to school for sustainable renewable energy engineering, mechanical kind of degree. And so, I'm working at SpaceX right now as a construction project engineer. So it's a bit different than guiding, I'd say, but yeah.
Just a little bit. I mean,
yeah.
I could see me doing it. That would be really funny.
I'm
one of those guys. I would treat it just like if the Nintendo didn't work. I'd just pull the cartridge out, blow on it, and put it back in there.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes you have to here. I'll tell you that.
Unplug it, plug it back in. All these things. That's my remedy for that. I'd be so fucking bad at that. It'd be ridiculous. Well, that's cool. That's cool. Are you still, kind of give me a little rundown on your, some of your guidance stuff out there.
Yeah, so I mean, grew up fishing the Winnipeg River, mainly just like from an age of, I would say, 3. I grew up in Ottawa, but my grandparents bought a piece of property out there in the 60s, and so we've had it for quite a long time. And grew up fishing, and then my grandfather who taught me how to fish passed away, and the next year I kind of needed to reconnect with him in a sense, and so I applied to a lodge called Big North Lodge, and I was a dockhand guide for 2 years, and then main guide, and then turned into, I kind of went my separate ways from working under lodges specifically. Started my own freelance guiding business, Sandstrom Fishing, and it really took off, and for me, I like it a lot more than working under lodges because I get to set my own hours. I get to work a lot more, and target species that I want to target, being muskies. So
yeah, no, I didn't grow up in the lodge business, which is weird. I'm up in the Angle now. I started with my buddy Tony down here, and we had to get our own business. It was not like people came to a lodge and then they gave you business. And so I've never had the thing of like people give me business. I've had to go out and get it myself always. So I'm I get it, but I don't know. I'm too, I guess stubborn, and and it's nicer when you can do it yourself.
Yeah, no kidding. You're definitely not wrong there.
Yeah. So Brendon, you've got big action baits. I'm going to ask both of you guys this. Brendon, I'll have you start out. When did you start muskie fishing, and how big was your first fish, and what'd you catch it on?
Yeah, so I've always kind of been into fishing my whole life. It was a pretty low key kind of thing. I mean, in kindergarten, I wrote a letter to myself. I guess that I finally found it again. It was that I wanted to grow up and my job would be a fisherman.
Oh my God!
Yeah, so I still got that letter, so it's hilarious. It turned out. I still suck at fishing though, but no, I growing up, I was doing a lot of fishing, but I got into more of the extreme sports, skydiving, bunch of motorcycles, sport bikes, stuff like that. Wakeboarding, snowboarding. I competed in a bunch of stuff, so I did a lot of that kind of things. And out of nowhere, I had a motorcycle accident back in 2019, which pretty much took out all my mobility in my arms, my body. Like I broke a bunch of bones and had multiple surgeries. So I was like bedridden for a little while. And then it came to, I think I had 3 or 4 surgeries immediately, and then shattered both arms, punctured lungs, broken ribs, all the fun stuff, shoulders dislocated. So
Jesus.
yeah, it was a good one. Yeah, it's a couple cadavers.
You should have seen the other guy.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good one. It was pretty interesting not having 2 arms, right? But you can't open beers without at least one hand, right?
Teeth.
Yeah. So I know after that, growing up in Winnipeg, I was right by Lake of the Woods, and I always heard about the muskies. Never really fished. I've never fished for them at all. Never tried. Didn't know if they were that crazy of a fish. It's just whatever. And then I decided to go out with a guy named Andrew Rideout from Crawford's Camp out on Lake of the Woods and out in Sioux Narrows there. So I ended up getting him to guide me. Fished several times. I ended up bringing buddies on with me, and he guided me like maybe 6 or 7 times. Every time I bring a buddy, my buddy would be catching the muskies, and I'd be sitting there by myself. So I was smoking pike for several of those trips, which was definitely not the mission. But and then out of nowhere, I was supposed to have a surgery pretty much on my birthday, and then so I was gonna leave. We just did 2 days in a row, and I was gonna leave that night for the next day to go to my surgery, and because they had to reconstruct my entire wrist. So
Nothing much.
yeah, a couple cadaver tendons and stuff to bring that together. But so I had no wrist really left to begin with for fishing. So fishing big fish with a rod is not the easiest without wrists. But yeah, no. Other than that, though, what happened was I ended up getting a call saying that they were canceling my surgery due to COVID. So they're like, "Screw you! You don't need wrists." So I was like, "Screw you! I'm gonna go fish another day." So my second day, or the day I was supposed to go for surgery, I stayed that night and I went fishing with Andrew again.
Mm-hmm.
I was hucking tube, ended up getting my first ever muskie. It was a 37. And then after that, we were trying to get off the water because we were having a pretty big storm coming in. And this storm was like lightning on the water way back. So we were trying to book it back to camp.
And then you got hit by lightning.
Yeah.
You're having great luck anyway.
Yeah.
No arms, nothing.
No arms.
Yeah. The fastest way to get in the hospital, eh? At least they won't deny me on this one.
Yep.
But we were booking it back, and we're like, we've seen this one giant on this one rock point for the last few days, and I was like, well, Andrew was like, we should just go try and hit it one more time. So squeeze it in, storms on the water, get to this point, and like one or two casts in, I locked into a fish, and we're like, holy shit, this is the one that we've seen for the last couple of days. And I'm like, this is going to be freaking awesome. Well, I bring it in, and it's like 27-inch pike. I'm like, what the hell? Like, dude, I'm on a pike fest. So immediately we just both sides just pop it off. And then he's just getting up, and I throw my my cast right after the pike. And then I lock in, immediately think it's a rock at first for like half a sec, and then it just starts going. And then I'm like, holy shit, I'm on something else. I'm like, what the hell? So I get it down. The fish comes directly underneath the boat, like deep. I couldn't raise it. I had no wrists to raise it. So I got pulled around the boat 2 full times around the console, everything. I couldn't get this thing up. And then we finally bagged it, and it ended up being a 50 1/4.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like though you got to pay your dues a little bit there and stuff. That's pretty. Jesus. What was it? What was it on?
It was a Red October 2, black and orange. The fish was so big. Again, I didn't have wrists, right? So the photo was actually, I should have sent it to you. I totally forgot to, but it's the fish is just on my freaking lap, and the belly is bloated over my stomach. The thing was massive. Like it was a fat fish. So that was my second ever muskie, and then I was like, kind of like this. So wasted some more time trying to fish by myself out in Lake the Woods, and never caught a single fish. It was good. So that was a good time.
Nice. Well, what about you, Austin? What was your what's your introductory story?
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's a little bit less traumatic than
Do you have any bones broke?
Less, motorcycle accidents and wrist breaking.
That's one of those. Besides that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play?
Yeah, right.
Kind of story.
Yeah. No, I it's funny. It connects back to my grandfather, and it was me, my grandfather, and my sister in a 14-foot tin can.
Sure.
I was 6 or 7 years old, and we were trolling for walleye with worm harnesses, and we hit this,
as one does.
Exactly, and that was my grandpa's staple. He tied worm harnesses himself and everything. Very proud of it, and 6-pound test and everything. And we were, with a little 15-horse Mercury on this 14-foot putt around to the back of our island where our cottage is, and we do like 2 or 3 passes, and then all of a sudden I hook into something. And of course, we think it's a big pike and all that. Like we had never caught. No one in my family had ever caught a muskie before, and somehow fought the thing for. In my eyes, when a 6-year-old's eyes, it was an hour and a half, right?
Oh, yeah.
But realistically, it was probably 5 or 10 minutes max.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got it into a walleye net somehow, and
Perfect.
this is like again, it goes against absolutely everything that I preach in terms of muskie health and taking care of the fish today.
Mm-hmm.
But at that point, we knew nothing, and what I'm going to say next might traumatize you as much as those motorcycle accidents traumatized
the gaff.
Yeah, no. But so we, this is 2005, 2004, and we don't have a camera in the boat. So we take this fish, we put it in the boat.
Oh yeah, you drag it in.
We drive it all the way back to our dock.
Mom has got an oil painting she's working on. And she starts painting it, and that's I thought that's how that was back in Canada in those days.
Right, exactly. Yeah, but so we start putting back, and it's probably with that 15 horse, 10-minute drive, 8-minute drive. With the fish out of the water, right? And on the way back,
I have a friend of mine that kept one alive a weekend in his bathtub.
I would if I could.
He wanted to show his mom, so he put it in the bathtub. And it lived. So that's there's that.
Right. And so we're driving back, and I remember my grandpa looking at me, and at this point, we still think that this is a big pike. And he looks at me and he says, Oz, I think that's a muskie. And like looking at the picture today, it's like, yeah, it's a beautiful blonde muskie, right? Like it's gorgeous, right? But anyways, we end up getting it back to the dock, and we take pictures and everything. And then me and my dad get into kayaks, and we sit with this fish in between the kayaks for I have no reference of time at that age, as long as it took to get this fish to swim away. Lord hopes that the fish survived. Who knows, right?
Sure.
But it did swim away, and in my eyes, it lived another 10 years, right? So
yeah, it swam away, going, what the fuck?
Yeah. Where am I?
I didn't plan on going for a car ride.
Yeah. But that's my first muskie.
How did you guys measure it?
Yeah, we did. It was 43.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a decent fish, and like for where it was caught, the Winnipeg River has tons of little small back bays and coves, and kind of the section where I am located is what I consider actually the river, and then there's a chain of lakes after that.
Sure.
And the river has a lot lower water, like the average depth. On that section is 15 feet or less, and this was midsummer, so that water's hot, and I couldn't believe that there would be a muskie back there. Like looking at it now as an experienced muskie guide, I can't believe that there's muskies back there, and it just goes to show what that system can provide. If there's muskies there, and where I fish now and the big lakes, it's phenomenal. I loved it.
Sure. No, I get it. Well, Brendon, let's talk about your baits here, Big Action Baits. And where are you based out of right now? You're over out east, right?
Yeah. I'm out in Kingston, Ontario.
Kingston, okay. All right. I think I've got some of your the ScanDisc cards or something that was made out there in Kingston.
Brendon doesn't know what those are.
I do. Wait, what are we talking about? Is this like a floppy disk you're talking about or something?
I swear they're made out there. Well, let's talk about the baits. Let's get into something you might know about here. Some of your Big Action baits. What got you in to making these things?
Yeah, keep it kind of short and sweet. Pretty much just I tried. Well, I bought a bait that was like $130 Canadian or whatever, and at in Kenora there, and I was like, holy crap, these things are freaking expensive. And casting it, I bounced it off a rock, thing chipped, and went right into wood. And I was like, oh, okay, so these things are made of wood. This can't be that difficult. So that was in 2022 that I tried that, and tried building the same kind of crankbait and couldn't make anything work. And then tried building different crankbaits, and it was an absolute mess. But the only thing I knew was to make it through wire and everything. So I always built it with a lot of time involved, and then casted it, and it never worked.
Oh, good.
So I started off strong with that one, with building. But after that, I started kind of really trying to push on a few different baits, and then I realized like the one main bait, like I built a twitch, ended up getting a few follows out in a lake I fish quite frequently. Never caught a fish on that lake before, but I got a pretty solid follow on it. Well, a bunch of follows. There was a little twitch bait, and then I realized if I wanted to get a little bit better or higher chances, glide baits move negative and neutral fish, and we all hear about this. Well, if they can move fish, maybe they're going to catch fish. So I'm going to try and learn how to build a glide. So it was this whole little thing. Tried building these glides. Took a while. Took about a year and a half to figure out. And finally, I started getting it all pretty sorted, pretty weighted properly. Once that was all sorted, what happened? I sent a video over to Adam from Topline Baits, and I asked him, like, hey, what do you think of this? And he saw the flutter down. And he's like, yeah, no, like that's epic. And then with this design as well, what ended up happening is I have a really good buddy named Max who's very tight with Austin. And he's like, dude, I know a guy that fishes and you build baits. Why don't we connect these things?
Yeah.
And so Austin and I ended up reaching out and talking, and ended up crazy. Like we fully designed, like Austin's engineering came through. Like,
well, that's good.
This is Brendon's. Yeah, finally, right?
Finally. Now SpaceX
my parents would be happy.
SpaceX heard about the baits, and then
they're
Elon
going to Mars.
Elon's like, well, I can put that into orbit. I could land that on a lily pad out in the middle of the Atlantic. So you got the baits going. Let me ask you about that. So your main bait, and again, I'm assuming it's probably the glides. That's what kind of got you going. Now, kind of talk about a glide bait here for me. In that glides, weight is everything, right? With those.
Yeah, they're pretty finicky, very finicky. But to bring it back a little bit though, like Austin literally was there from day one with the getting these glides to literally like what they are now. He was there. We were just like, we have full paper. I still have the papers of us just trying to draw the templates out and like where to put rattles and stuff like that. It was whole thing. I was sending them underwater. My phone was like in a bucket underwater, and I would just drop the bait, and we would do it in slow-mo to see when it would start to flutter, and man, it was some crazy stuff.
I was all talk. He's the one that builds them, so it was good. He could listen to me tell him, that looks terrible, and then he would tweak it, and then so we work together well. It's Brendon's baits.
Well, that's have you got some there with you, Brendon?
Yeah. So right now so if you can see it, it goes gold, color shift to pink. The greens go into like a purple. This is just one of my 8-inch flutter glides, and that's in a color shift rainbow trout. Just did that.
Well, now let me ask you this: How did you learn to paint? Because that's the one that I'm really bad at. I am. Oh God, it's bad. I get fingerprints on it, my thumb, sometimes my tongue.
But not just you, right? I think most bait builders. I don't know bait builders that can paint like that. Like that's.
Oh man, well, appreciate you guys.
Well, yeah, but like, how long did it take you to come up with to get the painting down? Did you? I mean, had you done painting before? Did you watch Bob Ross growing up? What did you do?
No, I never. I've never been a painter. Never been. I can't draw. I can't do anything. I literally can't even write. With that being said, I started when I was building these baits. I was kind of okay at these like a little bit of stripings and whatever. A guy asked me to paint some baits for him, so I painted these. They're called Muskie Munchies, the food truck. And so I painted some food trucks for him for Odyssey back in 2024. And did that, and I guess my paint jobs were okay enough that then Glenn McDonald asked me to paint a few Suics for him. So I painted a few Suics for him, and he really liked them. So then I got in touch with Vince from Chaos Tackle. And so at this point, I was building shitty crankbaits at the same time. So baits that never worked. And so now I'm painting for Chaos Tackle and did 135 baits in the summer. And that's kind of what kind of drove my painting skills up a lot, where just being able to actually do mass numbers where I couldn't do that by myself, right? Because especially if you build a crank that doesn't work, why are you going to try and paint it?
Yeah.
So no, I was doing that. And then, after this, I kind of just changed my whole idea on painting. I don't have the idea that I want to really fit into that like painting perches, painting walleyes, like keeping things natural. I kind of wanted to drive it a little bit different and kind of push them to something completely different. Like this one's just painted, not epoxy yet, and it's going to get scratched up. But it's a black and nickel. That's one of my swim baits though, but black and nickel, like full silver chrome and on black. So my idea was like blades, right? Or like when I started playing around, this is glow in the dark holographic pumpkin seed pattern. So just for me, I wanted to push something being unconventional and still prove that fish will still eat them, because if fish are biting baits at night, who really cares what they look like, right?
Yeah, no, I find it interesting, guys that can paint and stuff. It amazes me. Like 20, God, I'm old. 2000, 2001, it was 2000 actually. I went to Dale Wiley's place in Elwood City with the Wiley cranks, and watched him paint. And I was just amazed. I mean, he's just sitting in the booth, we're having a conversation, and he's painting like $9 bass and just like talking to me, and I'm just sitting there going, this is weird. I couldn't do it. And it's just amazing the guys that have done it for so long, or guys that are really good at it, and they can just, they can make this thing look just, amazing, whether it be realistic or abstract or whatever. I find that super neat, because I know what a fucking failure I am at it, and I love that someone is not.
I think like it kind of comes. You think of someone that can play guitar and they can hear a song and they can just play it. Right?
That's magic.
Right.
That's just witchcraft.
And it's kind of the same with what Brendon does. Like, it's just like he sees the vision and he just paints it. Whereas like I could hold his bait and I could try and paint the exact same thing and it would look terrible.
Mine would look like a queef if it had a shape.
Yeah,
it would just be awful. A ran over frog. It would be terrible. It would just be terrible. So let's get into these baits, though. How many baits do you make? What is the what are your main baits?
Yeah, so we came out with a Flutter Glide. This is the second show season ever. So not last year, but the year before is when we came out with the Flutter Glide through the summer. So that is the main one that I build, and then I also build.
Is this it here, Brendon? Is this your?
Yeah, that's the 8-inch Flutter Glide. So I have the 8-inch version. That's the Flutter. That reel, when I posted that up, got 1.7 million views. So apparently 1.7 million people like to look at a bait going up and down for 6 seconds.
Yeah, it was. I'm assuming in the winter.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I mean, no, I really, that is super cool. And I love that looks like a license plate right there and a cable. I'm assuming that is an electric cable going through the water. But I mean, that is some of the more of the hardest rock I've seen. I mean, it transfers all the way to the bucktail trailer that you have on it. Out the back. And so you make this in how many sizes?
Yeah, the 8-inch and 7-inch. I had the 5.5-inch last year. We had a lot of success on the 5.5. Austin had a lot of success on the 5.5. But for me, the amount of work it took to get a 5.5 going to like one drop of lead in the wrong hole is a big percentage off compared to doing it on like an 8 or 7-inch. So
okay.
This year I'm debating. This year I sold everything. I sold all my 5.5s in Minnesota. Minnesota I sold out, but I got raided right at the beginning. There was a few people bought all of my 5.5s off because I'm not looking at making the 5.5s too often. Only because the amount of time I put into it is about the same as a 7 and an 8-inch, but a lot of people expect the pricing to be different, but it's a lot harder to wait. So
sure.
I just at that point I'll make them and I'll price them where I'm pricing them, but because it's the same amount of time to paint and the same amount of time to build. But that's why I don't really care.
Well, that's what. Go ahead. No, I was going to say that's what like talking to a lot of guys that make like crankbaits, and when they make jointed baits, it's like making two baits.
Yeah.
And that's like, I know guys that won't make a jointed bait because they're like, it's too big a pain in the ass. It takes too much time because it's like I'm making two different baits. And I never thought of it that way, but talking to some of the manufacturers, it's especially guys that are doing all hand stuff. I get it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, that's exactly it. That's why I'm kind of pulled away on the 5.5s, doing it a little bit. But the 7 and 8s are still full go. And then I just came out with the Big Action Double Nickel. This year I released it at show season. Minnesota was the first show that I released them at.
And that is?
It is a rattling wood cedar hard body swim bait. And I built it to do the same flutter that the Glide does. I weighted it similar to a Glide so that I actually heavy set for gliding. So with the paddle tail on, I fully designed the paddle tail myself. So I got it to a point where I can pretty much get the bait to glide out on just with the paddle itself, no problem. And then I have a prototype tail as well that's less drag that I'll be coming out with soon enough. And that one lets the bait glide out like ridiculous. Without a tail, if you were to hit tap on the bait with like rod taps, the bait will do like almost 180 degrees, like flip right backwards. So
does it have the flutter down?
Sure does. It has flutter down. It has the rattles as well. Same things that it doesn't fall nose heavy like a lot of baits for pull paws and all that stuff. It falls horizontal. But I mean, I was kind of proven with the flutter glide, like 55s, 54s, tons of 50s were eating it when it was falling horizontal. So I figured if I'm going to do a hard body swim bait, I'm going to do the same action as my glides. And then first weekend that my prototype ever got sent out to somebody, 350s were landed on it. And then the second weekend, 55.25. So that's why I called it the Big Action Double Nickel.
That sounds like it worked.
Yeah, yeah. Apparently so.
Yeah, that's good. Do you have one there handy you could show on the thing?
Yeah. So that's the paddle. Coming low on the back, everything. So the paddle's upwards. I designed the paddle to go upwards so that when it's falling down, there's no resistance from the paddle. So if you had the paddle downward, it'll pull it up, nose down.
No, that makes sense.
So, yeah, and then the full rattle.
And then you got a blade on there. What's up with
Yeah,
that?
so this whole bait again, all my baits are through wire. I just tacked this blade on right now. It is all going to be willow blades like this. The only difference is I actually have a stainless steel tube that goes over top of this that I just didn't want to really shove on right now because I'm kind of prepping for that show tomorrow. But what it's going to be is it's going to hold it up a little bit. But
I was going to ask about that because it looks like it would hit the tail at that
yeah,
angle.
and be collapsed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I have set up, it is also a through wire eyelet as well. So if you want to toss a hook on it, remove your hook from the bottom. If you want to run it through weeds, whatever, you have that opportunity as well. If anyone wants to do that, but in general, yeah, I have a stainless steel little tube that goes on every single bait when you buy it, that keeps it up pretty much like half inch, and then your swivel comes from the top and comes out. So that gives it that opportunity to stay up above that tail and still get the flutter.
All right. Well, that's pretty cool, man. Is those? Are you going to have the? You're going. For guys to know, I don't know when this pod's going to come out just yet, but we're doing it at the end of March. I just watched Duke win, which was disgusting. And you've got the Odyssey coming up, right? Is that tomorrow?
Yes, the Odyssey's on Sunday.
Sunday. Okay.
Yeah, I've never. The only Odyssey I've been to was with Muskie Munchies. So this will be my first ever Odyssey. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. It's been a busy show season with me though. I did New York and Minnesota this year as well.
Okay. Well, good deal, man. That's awesome. And like I said, this is pretty cool here. This is the one you sent me, and for guys to see kind of how your crappie, the glow, or is this? Did you say glow crappie or what?
Yeah, glow pumpkin seed or something like that.
Okay. But yeah, that's pretty wild how you can how that glow tape and stuff works on there, especially with the jet black.
Yeah, exactly. Full on holographic, glow in the dark. Try to change things up a little bit.
Yeah, no, I like it. It looks cool. Let's go through some of the fish here. You sent me some pictures of. That's not a skinny one.
Yeah, so I posted that one, or you sent that one out to you just because he ended up catching. That was the largest bait or largest fish. That he got the bait that morning, put it in his mouth, sent a photo to me, and then a few hours later, he got that 54 and a quarter or something like that up on Lac Sewell. So he never caught a muskie the first couple days before that. Didn't catch one up there, and then goes out with my glide and crushes a 54.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, that works.
That's good. Something I want to ask you before I forget is, so we have a mutual friend, Mike Hopkins.
Yeah.
Who I've fished with for, I mean, he didn't even have kids when we started fishing long time ago, early 2000s. We started fishing together, and he really likes your baits and was telling me, your baits, do you weight them heavier than a traditional glide bait? Because he said that they do go a lot deeper.
Oh yeah, they're almost a foot per second. So they do a heavy flutter, heavy drop, so that it allows you to kind of run through structure, break lines. You can count it down to be very simple with people that, like, if you're pulling like bulldogs, stuff like that, you're able to count down big rubber. And I wanted the same opportunity with these glides where you can count them down and get them into places where these fish haven't seen that kind of presentation before.
Sure. No, and we talked a little bit before we started recording about something else that I like playing with baits and putting different stuff in different areas. And, we did it years ago with bucktails and weights over open water, and had really good success doing that. And, I like that a lot. Let's show. Actually, I want to show this before we get into the pictures too deep. Let's show what these baits look like. You've got a drone here with a swimming pool. I'm glad no one was swimming in it.
You get Hep A or something. Hep C.
I did it one time. I was doing our road rules, and this was years ago. And we're underwater. This one of the many times I got rent out of a public pool throwing baits in it. We were at a hotel and we were trying to film the baits underwater. And a lot of times we didn't get the baits until like literally a couple days before the event. And I'm filming the night before and editing it all together for me to show. And we're at a, I don't know, YMCA and some Milwaukee, who knows. And we're like telling this woman, we're like, we're just literally going to, just pull the baits in the water and no one's going to get hurt. There's going to be no child left behind and all that. And so we're doing it. Well, Dad, one of the kids that was there, Dad pissed. He's just screaming at us. And I'm like, dude, no one is getting hurt here. We're just filming baits in the water. Well, when I go back, and I know I was mad now, when we go back and do it, I didn't realize it, but we were videoing the kids. They were in the background. They were in the background. I'm like, oh my God, I think this is illegal.
A couple older guys. Oh yeah, we're just testing baits.
Yeah, we're just testing baits. No, yeah. Look,
4K.
Yeah. Look at this puss. It has pedophilia written all over. They're like, yeah. All right, yeah, I've seen you. You drive a van. It was not good. But anyway, let's look at your pool that's not accused of pedophilia. And you can see here of the bait going side to side. Now, on a lot of your glide baits, you've got bucktail on the back. Why is that?
Yeah, so they're all going to be flash tails now. My fiance ties every single tail, so she literally does every single tail for every single glide. These tails are fully custom, full flash. The idea was that it gives the bait a little bit more of a flash underwater for one. For two, it changes the action completely. In that video that you have on, with the tail on, you're going to have a longer glide. It technically adds like an extra inch of length to 2 inches of length onto that bait. So what that's doing is it's kind of straightening out that glide a little bit, making it glide longer, and making it glide as if it was a longer bait. So that's one massive thing with it. If you pull off that tail, you're going to have a bait that really twitches, pivots really sharply. So the idea was really to give something a fish can kind of hone on to it, whatever, I can't even say it, a little bit better. I just want the fish to look at the tail, right? So, what, just eat it. Right. But
not that
I do, yeah. Fish care about paint jobs. That's why I paint them well, right?
Exactly.
So then that's the reason is, though, they're all tails. They're not dress trebles. I don't use the dress trebles mainly because the idea with that one was that I wanted this fish to be able to come in and nip, so that you're not getting that nip and hook set and missing it, whatever. I wanted it to almost build up like a frustration on like trying to nip this tail and going in for like a T-bone or whatever. That was kind of my whole idea, is that you're missing those short nips, but hopefully gaining that frustration into going for the actual body itself and getting hooks.
Sure. And now this one here, you don't have a tail on. You can see it hops really fast side to side. It really chops.
Yeah.
Well,
the glides themselves also have almost a bounce to them when they're gliding. There's two different reasons for that. The nose pull itself is it's lower than the center of the bait, for one. So I have that all set up. So it is definitely lower than the center. So when you're pulling on it, it does want to rise up a little bit on that pull and glide out. But when it glides out, that nose is also going to push down a bit. So you're going to get this like full hop kind of glide out action.
Okay.
So you're hitting a bit of a different portion of the column, different action, different whatever. Just something that just ended up doing its thing just from how Austin and I wanted to design the shape of it.
So it's not like a traditional glider that is like old school, let's say Manta or something that just goes zoo, 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 zoo.
Yeah.
This is covering like multi levels.
Yeah,
right?
This is not a bait that's just going to be the conventional glide guy that's going to use it in spring and fall. That's not what we built these for. They rattle. They're super loud. I had a guy win the Unleash the Beast up in Canada last year ripping the glide quick, very fast. He usually Tom Barry. He's a super solid multi-species angler. He rips glides super, super fast, and with guys and throwing blades in the front, he can keep up. He's well thought after on this stuff, so he rips them really well with that. So that's no problem there. And the fact that they're so the rattles are so loud and so aggressive, I find that it's just a completely different thing than just trying to finesse glide. So that's why guys are catching giant fish open water. I mean, Austin's catching giant fish in shallow water. Like it's there that you can literally run them anywhere, and you don't have to be stuck on the fact that they're only a spring or fall bait. It is you can run it in the summer, no problem.
Nice. Oh, hello.
There you go.
Somebody blew a horn. Is that your?
Well, I'm in Los Angeles, all right.
Everybody, yeah. That was one of your porn partners there in the city of angels. Let's look here. We got some. Hold on. This guy. That's not a little one.
Yeah, that is on the JF Cisco pattern. They're not painted right now, or they're painted right now, but they're not epoxied. So they're full glow in the dark Cisco pattern, color shift, everything. And that's the one he caught it on, was this pattern in the 8-inch, and that was a 55 and a quarter. So that was on the 55 and a quarter on the glide. And then John Friend caught a 55 and a quarter, whatever, 55 and change, both of them, on the Big Action double nickel, the hard body swim bait, in the exact same pattern. So that pattern itself has locked in 255s in, I think it was like a month apart from each other.
Wow. That's
crazy. That's a Green Bay 55.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So John's a Minnesota 55, Jack's a Green Bay 55.
Wow, that's pretty cool. What I like this guy's face. What's going on here?
Justin's an OG. He is the first guy to put a shit ton of fish on immediately on my glides in Ohio, and then showed me that fishing at night, like he said that was his thickest, fattest 50 he's ever caught. And that was just last year, but he showed me that these glides work phenomenal at night. I said, I can't remember if we said it on air or off air, but I went to a lake that I used to always go to, that I sucked at fishing, moved a few fish, never got anything. The year that the glides came out, Austin was pumping fish. I was getting pike after pike after pike. And then as soon as muskie season opened, he was just on them. And then I realized I go to my muskie trip, and on the lake I get skunked on every single time, and go out there, and I found this one spot I wanted to keep going or go to, but guys were on it most of the time, and Justin kind of showed me that these things work at night. So I tried it out at night. I caught my first fish on the glide bait ever, was a walleye, unfortunately. It was 28-inch walleye, and so I got the notes in front of me right here, but it was 10:07 at night that I caught that walleye. Then at 10:15, I caught my first ever muskie on that glide bait. Then 10:28, I caught a second muskie on that glide bait, and then 10:57, I caught my third muskie on that glide bait. Three muskies and four fish, so like a walleye, all less than like an hour from each other. First time I've ever caught fish on this damn lake was on my glide, and I put 3 in one night. I continued to do 9 fish in 4 days there.
Nice.
All on the glide. So I kind of found out after Austin was pumping fish on it, pumped a few 50s immediately too. Then Justin tossed them at night and showed me that they actually work at night with how noticeable the rattles are. And I was fishing blind at night and didn't know anything. I sucked at that lake. I never caught a single muskie before that. So then, coming through and pumping 9 fish in 4 days. Most of them are all at night except for one. So
nice.
it's cool.
That's pretty awesome. What about this cat?
Yeah, that's Tom Barry. He won the Unleash the Beast with that. It was like a 49.5 or 49.75 all day. So I shipped it to him. I one day shipped him the bait. He unboxed the bait on his boat, put it on his story that he was going to cast it, and then put another picture on a story of him grinding it out with it all hook crashed. And then after that, later on that, like an hour later, he put it on a story that he got the 49.5 or whatever it was. And then the next day he finds out he won the tournament.
Nice.
Now, a lot of guys were having difficulty. There was not a lot of fish. From what I heard, wasn't a crazy amount of fish getting pumped in that day at least. So it's cool to see and cool to hear that the Glide was doing his thing.
Yeah, no, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so that photo, I was with a remarkable guy named Austin Sandstrom right before I hit up my muskie trip on Cedar. Him and I decided to go out for a little muskie trip of our own, and yeah, we had an insane morning.
Yeah,
freaking crazy. I don't know, Austin, if you want to break it down?
Yeah, so first night that you came out, I was showing you a little area that I liked, and I was kind of explaining how, this is kind of bread and butter spot for me. Definitely hit it on my milk run with clients, and as you were casting, you were saying, well, why? Why is this your bread and butter spot? Why you hit this on your milk run? And as you're saying it, one twitch with the Glide, boom, muskie. I think it was a 44 or 41 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I had picked you up from the launch, probably around 8:30, 9. Like it was like a quick, we dropped your stuff off and then went out quick, fished, and then came back. And then the next morning it was low pressure, real, it honestly, it was kind of like a cold front was rolling through, but it was quite low pressure as well. And yeah, we bagged a 50, which is the one that you see there.
Nice.
And you cast it off the point. Thought you were snagged.
I thought I was snagged for a while.
And
I kept trying. I was trying to pop it off.
Snagged, and he was trying to pop it off. And I was looking at him. I was like, "No, you got to fish, man!" And then all of a sudden, you just see this big brown log come up from the bottom, and he's like, "Oh, whoa!" And we ended up getting it in. And then
that's always good.
Yeah, it was a bit. I was like, "Oh, Brendon." I know you can
literally
build plates, but can you musky fish?
They don't want to let go of these things, all right?
Yeah, exactly. There you go. And then 3 or 4 hours later, hit another spot, and so this one was on the 8-inch Glide, and then I think if you go to the next picture, I'm hoping it's the next one. This one's on the 8-inch also, but one of them, that one right there, that is a 49 on the 5.5.
Oh wow!
So it was a 50 and 49 within 4 hours, both on big action bait glides, and it shows this is just after opener, and they're eating both 8-inch glide baits. They're eating small, erratic 5.5-inch glide baits, and I think it really is just kind of the areas that you're targeting, where these fish that are just post spawn going to be located, where are they transferring out from these spawning bays,
sure.
And how are you going to approach them? I think it depends on the mentality of the fish. If some will want to eat an 8-inch, some are just perfectly fine with a snack, and but yeah, both these fish, they didn't care. They both hammered them. So
sure. Well, that's cool. And then you got some video here. I like this. This is Austin. This is a big fish you caught. Now, is that current up there?
That is current, and I don't want to talk too much about it. This is a spot that I hold dear and close to my heart. But yeah, this is me ripping the 8-inch glide. You'll see me pop it up here in a second right there, and boom, there we go.
So, and what I want to talk about is you're not working that like you would a pop glide bait. You're giving that more pulls.
Yeah, for sure. And that is how I personally run big action bait glides. And I'd like to say, there isn't a correct way to run big action baits. The correct way is if you're catching fish on them, then you're running it correctly. Like that's kind of the way it goes. But for me, I like an erratic glide bait that I can run normally and I can pop up and it'll pop up. And then if I let it sit for a second, it'll flutter down. Right. Mm-hmm. And so that's what you get with big action baits. And this is how you're seeing me run it here. And this was kind of a first gen 8-inch glide, which I think was weighed a bit heavier than what your 8 inches are now.
Is that the one that we both caught? Yeah, that is.
Yes, it is.
I caught the 50 on that bait, and then you caught this 52 on that bait.
And it's working me also. Like that's a current fish. That's why I love the Winnipeg River. It's like these fish are big tails, strong fish, and
it's kind of neat though because with Austin doing the pulling on the glide, I have a guy named Ryan Mack who's done some bunch of giants out on the Ottawa River, and he sent me a video. Yeah, that's a freaking tank. That 52 was a monster. He sent me a video saying first cast, he just threw his bait in the bait ball in the Ottawa and just did pull pause. Is all he did with the glides. He wasn't like ripping it like a glide. He was just full long pulls. Because when you're pulling or straight retrieving, even if you straight retrieve, that glide really wanders. It really kicks and wanders. We were able to troll that glide at 7 miles per hour and watch it thump. It had no problem. So we were just messing around and seeing it. But for him, first cast on the bait, full pull pause, not actually trying to work it as a glide, but just ripping it through bait balls. Got a fish, and then he lost a fish second cast. I gave him a bad split ring. Okay, give him this. It wasn't a good situation,
rings, right?
Yeah.
I've got a couple bad split rings from you before, actually.
Yeah.
Come to think of it,
just put a key ring on it. Just like a key ring.
I thought you just got to use braided line, right?
Yeah.
Just tie it on.
Hey, 6 inch or 6 pound fluoro. That's what first musky on, right? It don't matter.
This is kind of a cool video here of one that just kind of shoots up.
Shoots up from the bottom. That's on the 5.5. I think that's walleye or carp. But yeah, it's sweet musky, came out of nowhere. Did not know it was there. Just slowly working it around.
Yeah, no, that's a cool looking shot there. And then this one here, I like. It's kind of is this a springtime fish or fall?
No, this is fall. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is fall, and I'm surprised that I actually got this fish to eat. I saw it once before, and it disappeared hard, and then it just came back, and it really opened its mouth, swallowed it, and then after that, mouth open wide, kind of just tail thrashing. That's it. Mm-hmm. No big pull. Yeah.
Well, that's cool, guys. Well, hey, we've been going a long time here, and like I said, you guys have been great to talk to, and we've gotten to see some really cool footage that you got there, Austin, and got to look at a lot of the baits and stuff. And Brendon, how can somebody get a hold of you if they want to buy some of your baits?
Yeah, so I haven't been doing a waiting list for a couple of years now, just because I got destroyed after show season one time, and it gave me PTSD to do it again. So if you ever want baits, you can go to The Vault by Big Action Baits on Facebook. That is where I'm doing all my drops right now. You can go to my website, bigactionbaits.com. You'll be able to see pretty much all the bait patterns, all the fish. You'll see a bunch of Austin on there, crushing giants. So I have that, but all my bait drops, I'll do draw to buy, stuff like that, or drop in batches. They'll all be in the vault by Big Action Baits on Facebook, just so I can keep pushing baits as much as I can. And the 160 bait order list that I did a couple years ago kind of kicked my ass. So not happening again.
I get it. I get it. Austin, if somebody wants to go fishing with you, are you going to be guiding this summer?
I will be guiding. This summer I am fully booked for my time. However, I am taking 2027 clients. So if you want to book with me, you can reach out over text 613-899-8302, or you can reach out over Instagram, Sandstrom Fishing.
And
All
Austin,
right.
Austin, how many fish was it last year that you got?
Last year it was 123, I think. And year before we were at 89, so we upped it quite a bit, and just over 10 50s last year, and
Nice.
8 50s the season before. So yeah, it's been good.
Yeah.
No,
That's
that's great, man. Well, all right, guys, we're going to be finishing up here. And before I go, guys, if you're looking to get into some new electronics, maybe a new rod, maybe a new rain suit, maybe a new bait or so, check out Thorn Brothers. They're down in Minneapolis there. You can go to thornbros.com and see what they got. Also, if you're looking for some new rain gear or maybe a new fishing shirt, some FPS shirt, I've been wearing a lot of Gill products here. I really like them. And as I say, if you're too fat to wear Sims like me, get a Gill. I think you'll like it. And yeah, they'll keep you dry. And they've got some really nice products. So check them out at Gill Marine for the fishing attire. Guys, I appreciate you coming on here.
awesome.
And just
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and hold on for just a second, okay?
Mm-hmm.